Hi guys, it's Helen and welcome to Woohoo Wednesday. If you've not seen me live before, and I have to apologise, I wasn't live last week. Every Wednesday I like to come on and remind you that it is Woohoo Wednesday, not a hump day. And if it's feeling like a hump day as a business owner, because that's the people I work with, you really need to think about changing things and making your business something that you love, something that brings you enough money, and something that you absolutely love doing. The Wednesday should not be the day that you are rushing to Friday thinking, yay, the weekend, then getting to Sunday afternoon and dreading going back to work. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about coming out of your hiding place if you want to find clients. And I talk to a lot of business owners. I have the HB Club, I have HB Inspired, all those HB retreats. And whenever I talk to people, there is always that element of people saying, I want to make sales, whether it be service or whether it be product based. I want more people to come to my business. And I say, okay, so what are you doing? And they say, well, I'm doing a bit of this and a bit of this. And I said, well, have you been on your social media or have you been networking? Like, no, I don't like doing that. And the problem with a lot of businesses, and it will come and go for some people as well, that you just aren't telling enough people, excuse me, what you do. Now, I've got my cup of coffee today. In fact, look, let's give a shout out to a small business owner who's soon going to be a big business owner. This is Polly London. Oh, I can't, can you just see it says Polly? If I tip it anymore, I'm going to be wearing my coffee. This is one of her beautiful, this was done bespoke for me, this one, I'd like to say. She does some beautiful, beautiful stuff. She is an artist through and through. But you know what I like about this? It even goes in the dishwasher. So I'm just going to slurp to stop me coughing. I love it. I've got Daniela on Facebook that's already saying hello. So hello, Daniela. I presume you're on Facebook. You could be on LinkedIn and on Instagram. I can see there's a few of you there as well. So how do you get outside your own comfort zone? Because that's normally the problem, and get yourself known by more people. Number one, you have to have a little word with yourself that you can have the best business in the world, but if you don't tell anybody about it, how does anybody know to come and buy from you or come and visit you? How do they know? They don't. And right now in this world that we have quite a few places that people can use for free. When I started my business, yes, I am ancient, almost antique. In fact, maybe most would consider antique. When I started my business, there wasn't social media. You literally either created a poster somewhere or you went around, did a leaflet drop, and you relied a lot on word of mouth. And there is nothing wrong with word of mouth. And I would say for the majority of business, especially when I had a bricks and mortar business, word of mouth was my bread and butter for getting people in. But you also have to push yourself out there to reach other people. So it's, how do you do that? And you may have seen the picture I had on it. In fact, it didn't show very well on the feed, but you may have seen the picture. It was like a cat coming out from under a duvet type thing. Was it a duvet? I think it was. I forget the picture I put on. Anyway, basically it showed, and it was me trying to sum up how I feel some business owners are. You've got a business, you love what you do, but you are like this, trying to peek out and tell people what you do. It's like, hi, I'm over here. I've got something to sell if you want it. It's not the way to run a business. And people quite often don't like selling. Now, for me, it's not reversing it really, but if we change the scenario and I was to say, would you like to go shopping? Now, there'd be a few that will say no, but most people would go, bit of shopping. Yeah, great. Where are we going to go? We're going to go to Blue Water. Where are we going to go? Where are we going to go and go shopping? Great. And you walk in a shop. Most of us will go in a shop, whether it be a record shop. That's my husband, HMV, if there is one. Actually, even better if it's a one-off record shop. So a bit of vinyl, he's in there. For me, it's probably clothes or shoes. I love cool trainers. I like sports shops. So you find your shop that you love. You walk in and you don't look around and think, oh my goodness, they're selling things. How cheeky is that? We don't. We're like, yay, they've got things to sell. I can buy. And that's the same with services as well. So if you think about, booking theatre tickets to go to the theatre, we don't book the theatre tickets and think, they've had the audacity to charge for those tickets. We just want them, so we buy them. Occasionally they're very expensive. This is somebody who's looking for Broadway. I'm going to New York in a couple of weeks and going, that's quite expensive, but hey, only on Broadway once, aren't you, in your life for most people? So just went for it. But we don't look at sales that way. But when it's ourselves selling something, we tend to have this whole mindset of, I can't come out there and tell people, oh, it would almost be rude, or who am I to talk about money or earning money? We all need to earn money. We all need to put roofs overhead and food on our table. It's up to you how much money you want to earn. And if you're like me, I always think, well, the more I earn, the more tax I pay. So I'm putting into society, the more charities I can fund, if that helps your mindset. But you have to have some sort of mindset when you're a business owner that you are going to sell what you have and tell people about it. So are you struggling? Tell me in the comments. Do you struggle with putting yourself out there? Because whatever your answer is, you are not alone, okay? Most people struggle to put themselves out there. It's either a case of I'll put myself out there once and tell them what I do, but I told them 2 weeks ago what I did, so they'll be fed up with me. Or I always use this. So sorry if there's anybody called Mary that ever watched me, but I don't know a Mary, so I use this name. If Mary down the road doesn't like it, I possibly can't go on social media. That's how people think. Well, I don't care what Mary down the road thinks, to be honest. In fact, we were at a dinner. Where were we the other day? We were at a dinner party barbecue / bit of both the other night. Doesn't make any difference what I was at, but anyway. And somebody said, oh God, yes, they're all over social media, somebody else, whatever. And he just turned and said, oh, Helen's on TikTok. Well, I nearly went through the floor. This is mine. And I was like, oh God, yeah, I am. And I am. And I'm selling books on it. And 630,000 watches of a video. I think I've got 97.8 thousand likes of stuff I've done. It's big for me on TikTok, not necessarily the business mentoring. And somebody said, oh, TikTok. And I said, yeah, it's making me money. It's selling books. And actually that cut the conversation. So there sometimes are people that will come and say things, not so much Instagram or Facebook. And TikTok is a weird place, I have to say. Anybody on here on TikTok? If you haven't followed me yet, Helen Bullen UK, come and find me on my weird. I'm reading my book every day. I go on and I read my book, but it is a weird place to be. Weird and wonderful. The only thing, a little caveat I'm going to say to that is don't get caught scrolling the videos when you go on there. I only do that in the evenings when I've got like 20 minutes spare and I think, I just instead of watching the telly, I'll flick through videos, but don't do it in your working day. It can waste your time. So most people struggle to put themselves out there, especially if you've got a business. And I know I work with a lot of therapists and osteopaths and things like that, because that's where my background comes from. And I think most of you do it because you're empathetic. You want to help people. You want to get them better. And then you've got to charge for it. And then you've got to tell people that they may need to come and buy from you. That normally goes against the grain. So for most of those people, I'm saying you're providing a service. Talk about why. What help can you give people? I'm not into, just wagging my finger there. I'm not into, I Googled something this morning and it said to me, point out the pain points. And I was like, I hate that. I absolutely hate that. I know it's a way to cajole people into buying from you, but that doesn't feel good to me, so I'm never going to do that. But what I will do is tell you how I can help you and why you might want to work with me and why I do what I do. And that's a nice way for me to sell. So make sure that you realize that whatever business you're in, I know you set it up to be what you wanted to be and you never thought you'd have to run a business, but to be successful, you are going to have to do that. You can outsource some things, but you are going to have to be the face of your business. And actually, it's not as bad as you think. If you realize that if you're offering a great service or a great product or an experience, people will want to buy if you give the very best that there is. They will want to buy. They will want to come again. They'll want to tell all their friends. And that is how you get a successful business. So what do you do to get yourself out from under those duvet covers going, I don't want to talk about my business? Okay, number one, woman up, man up, whatever gender up. No genders at all. Maybe I shouldn't do gender, should I? So just up level your game, okay? You've got to get out there and you've got to start talking about it. So what do you need to do? So an online presence is one of the most obvious things to do. For most of the platforms, it's free. Yes, the algorithms don't always show you to everybody, and that can seem frustrating, but do remember this is free. In my day, there was no free advertising. You paid for an advert in a paper or you spent money on leaflets, which very rarely got caught up on a leaflet drop, yeah? So you have the options to do free, and quite often it's not about doing it more often. It is about creating good content, but it is showing up consistently so people start saying, oh, I've seen that. They recognize that. They know your branding. I am sitting right now in my lounge in front of a wall, which you may think, oh, she's just sitting in a room. That is actually my branding colors. There is subliminal stuff going on all around you without you realizing it, right? That is my branding colors. This mug that I showed you, I had it made in these colors. I asked for my branding colors. These are my branding colors. So I try to be on brand so that when people see my videos or things I've done, they'll have an element of that in it and they'll go, oh, it's Helen. Even if they haven't really seen it. You've seen it. I tell you what, who does it best is the Sainsbury's adverts. Have you seen the Sainsbury's adverts where it's grey and everything's great and then you see a flash of orange? And I don't think they own it, but Sainsbury's, as far as I'm concerned, own that orange. That specific hex code for that orange, you see it. And then eventually it comes in. It's the color of their branding and their plastic bags. I think they've got a burgundy that goes with it as well. But on the ads, it's literally a flash of orange, occasionally on this black and white, and you've probably all seen it. It's really clever branding. I know the Sainsbury's advert, even if I'm half listening and I look and I think, oh, it's the Sainsbury's one. You probably know the John Lewis one. Every year they do a different one at Christmas, but you sort of know the style they're going to do it as. So your branding is about you. It's about colors. It's about design. You know, if somebody goes from your social media to your website and it looks really different, they're going to think, I've bounced into the wrong place. I don't know where I am. Maybe I'm not in the right place. So you don't have to be totally branded. Although the other day I did say to my husband, I have to stop buying clothes that are in my branding colors. I've got trainers that are blue, pale blue, dark blue, tops. It's like ridiculous. In fact, I've got white on today, so that's okay. I'm not too branded. But yeah, so you have to think about what it is that's going to connect people to you. So get an online presence. And you may worry about what Mary down the road thinks about you on social media. But to be honest, anybody that ever says that to you, my answers to them that normally stops them dead. And if it doesn't stop them dead, and I don't mean literally dead, if it doesn't stop them and make them go quiet, then they're not going to be my friend. All right. But what normally stops them in their tracks, I'm not going to say dead because that sounds a bit lethal, stops them in their tracks if I say, oh, you can unfollow me, just click the 3 buttons. Oh, you don't have to see me, but it's work for me. I do it for work. I very rarely contact my friends through Facebook. I tend to do it through WhatsApp. A few I will, but I tend to do it through WhatsApp. That's where my personal world is. But this is my business world. And if I'm doing something and somebody doesn't watch, they don't have to. But actually, what normally happens is people say, oh, no, I've seen you. I really liked it. Or I want to come to your book launch. Have I talked about that yet? That's next week. Have a look in my bio, wherever you are. I'm doing my book launch in Leatherhead, Surrey next week. Can't wait. Somebody's sponsoring that, so that'd be great. Anyway, but make sure you get on and you forget about the naysayers. The other way I tell them is, oh, I'm making money. I make money through social media. It helps me run my business. And people then as well go, zip. It's amazing what people think. So I had somebody the other day, and it's a bit of an aside here, but they said to me, oh, you've written a book. Oh, are you self-published? Oh, okay. So I did this. I had it in my bag and I went, yeah, this is it. She went, sorry about the horrible bookmark I've got in there. I've been reading it this morning. She went, oh, it's a real book. Yes. All because I published it didn't mean I was going to create a shit book. I was going to create a really good book that's been edited and branded. So you can quite often, the real naysayers, you can cut, but be kind, do it with a smile. And nobody has to watch you. Everybody has choice on social media. They can unfollow. So if somebody says, oh, it's so irritating, I see you loads. Oh, I can tell you how to unsubscribe from that. The 3 dots top right, click on that and stop following me. It's great. I don't mind at all. It's fine. Okay. So just be quite straight with people. Next, how to build your people knowing more about you. You've got in-person stuff. So you've got in-person networking. Networking groups are great. In fact, Polly London, I met a networking group. One of the photographers I've met at a networking group. The person that's just volunteered to do my book launch, I met in a networking group, and I used to work nearby one of my bricks and mortar. So sometimes networking isn't just about picking up clients or product sales. It's about making those connections that will help you build your business and help you sell products. So I tend to go to network in a case of I'm just going to meet some people and have hopefully, the best bit about networking is my nice cup of coffee and just have a little chat with people. I love that. So in-person networking, don't forget about it. I think in lockdown, a lot of us went, oh, I don't do that anymore. See if you can find a group. Just put in networking near me and good old Google will find you some places. I'm not really into the ones that charge you loads of money. I don't mind paying something for it. I don't mind paying for my coffee or my breakfast or a small subscription. The Chamber of Commerce is always a good one. And sometimes you have to go to a few of them to see which ones you like. But don't forget in person. Speaking of which, of coffee, I'm going to have a slurp. I don't want it to go cold. I'm like, my coffee is sitting there. The next one you want to do is connect with other businesses. So connect and collaborate. So other businesses are really useful to you. Don't think of anybody as competitors. Go and shop at their stores. If you've got a local business, make sure they know who you are. Shop at their stores, buy a coffee, buy a sandwich, buy a magazine, go and buy their products from their shop. So they know who you are and you're part of the community. When I had my bricks and mortar business, every shop in the village knew who I was. I was on there was a business group that helped put the flags up on Village Day and things like that. I was part of that. I watered the flowers during the summer. I had to get up in the morning, 3 mornings a week to go in early and water the flowers. in the high street, but I did it. And that got me known by people. And that got me to know that I was kind and caring. And actually people want to do business with you and they will pass your details on too. So to connect with other people, collaborate, shop there, make connections. Now that could be in person or online. You can do both. And I'd suggest you're following all the local businesses that are near your business. If you're not local, then follow some people that have people that like the same things. You know, go and have a look, see what they're putting out there. Not copy anybody, but see what's going on in their world. Next is structure your time to do your marketing. Getting out there quite often is like, well, I don't know what to say. Well, plan it. Plan ahead. Plan so you know what things that you talk about, know what the core things are in your business, and then talk about them. You've also got a help, which is Chat GPT, which is either you're with or you're going, I don't want to do it. But for me, I write my blog still, and then I just pop it in there, go just tweak it. What's the grammar like? And it'll tweak it slightly for me. It's still me. I don't really want it to create stuff that I haven't created, and I don't think you should, because it's got it from somewhere. So you could find that you're using somebody else's work. I don't like to do it that way, but it does speed up the process for me. I don't need to make it look pretty. It's like having my own VA. I stick it in there and it makes it look pretty. And I'm like, okay, off we go. So structure your time, structure how you do it, outsource if you can, prep and plan what you're going to be talking about, prep it, plan it, know what you're doing. Probably right now, and I've got this terrible cough. Has anybody else got it? I don't feel ill. I think it's my asthma actually and hay fever, but I've got a terrible cough. So sorry about that. And I have no idea where I was going. That is so normal for me. I said prep and plan, didn't I? Does anybody else do this? I'm like, going to the top of the stairs, looking for something, can't find it, talking about something. Anyway, it'll probably come back to me. So prep and plan what you're going to do. You can pre-do stuff by getting it onto your social media, so you can schedule it. Facebook now, if you go into the planner part, if you go from your business page, you can actually prepare posts on your Instagram and your Facebook, set them for different times, whatever you want, slightly different text. You can set all that up and it's all automated. So you can do that ahead of time. So make sure, and I'm still racking my brain to know where I was going with it. So if anybody was with it and can tell me, that'd be great, but I've completely lost where I was going. So online presence, in-person networking, you've got making connections with local businesses, structure your time, prep and plan. The last one I want to talk about is probably the biggest. It's limiting beliefs, those beliefs that you're not good enough, or that other people are better than you. And I think in this day of social media, there are many people that look like they've got it all together. I probably looked like I got it all together when I was going through my cancer journey. I certainly didn't. And my business, although it survived, it did take a dip. Of course it took a dip. I couldn't push it. I was too poorly. I didn't want to put new people into the HB club. It was poorly. And it's been a slow climb back up. And I'm still building that way back up to where I was. So it's not always what you think when you see people out there. Now, I've found where I was going from. I've absolutely gone back to where I was going from just now. So I'm going to go back there for a second and then come back to limiting beliefs. You'll be like, what sort of business mentor are you? I'm one that makes you laugh and will call it when something goes wrong. So maybe this is learning. If you can't remember what you're going to do in your Facebook Live, which now I've forgotten what I was going to do, that I forgot that I was going to do, right? Just call it, okay? And it's always okay. So what I was going to say about structuring and planning was you've probably seen over the last few weeks different things coming out for me. So I had the HB Club that I was pushing, and then there'd be some little bits in between. And then now I've got a book launch next Wednesday in Leatherhead, Surrey. If you're interested, just either message me, email me, but the links are all in my bio, wherever you are, blue button on Facebook. LinkedIn, I will come and put the link in there, and Instagram, it's in my bio. But the link there from, so I was doing my book launch, you'll see that this week. And then you're going to get from Friday over the weekend, is the HB box is coming out. It's the July version of my HB box. So you'll see stuff coming out for that, but it's pre-planned. Now I'll be in there live and doing things, and I'll be making sure I come in and talk to people. But I haven't just left it to that morning and thought I need to do something. I know when I'm pushing things out there. I sometimes will do things by the skin of my teeth, but very rarely. I know where I'm going with what I'm doing. After the HB box, the 10-10 challenge is coming out as an online course. That's being built right now. So planning and prep is key to getting yourself known. You can't just do it, by the seat of your pants all the time. You can't. Ad hoc will work occasionally, but not all the time. I'm great for saying, I always say to my some of my HB club. In fact, I've done it in HB Inspired. I said, oh, go on. I want to set them a challenge, like a money challenge. I go, oh, go on. And Jen's on. I can see Jen's got her ears flapping now because she was looking for more ideas. I'm like, if I've challenged you to raise more money in a week, go and tell your audience that that's what's happened. That's a good ad hoc one. My business mentor has challenged me to do so many sales this week. Can you help? People will always jump in. They'll be like, yay, I'll help you. Little top tip. And yes, even if I'm not your mentor, you can blame me. Right. So going back to limiting beliefs, they will hold you back. Limiting beliefs, I believe we all have them, but it's how much you let it affect you. So if you're telling yourself other people are judging you, you need to let that go. And I could talk a way around to go, we could do this and you don't need to do that. But actually, it's in your head. And what other people think of you, I love this saying, it's not my own, but what other people think of you is none of your business. It is not. And normally we think we know what somebody else is thinking. And I'd like to tell you from absolute proof, we're normally wrong. I used to sit at events. My friend Sue Ford and I we still do events. And sometimes there was somebody one day that was in the front row tapping on their phone. I was like, oh, they're not interested. And at the end, one of the first people to come up and say, yeah, I'd really like to sign up with you in the HB Club, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And that was really surprising. She says, oh, no, I didn't think he was listening either. He was taking notes in his phone. So sometimes we think we know what's going on in somebody's head and it's not. Sometimes people I am guilty of this, bit of a resting bitch face. You know, you say, well, they didn't look like they were happy. When I'm concentrating, used to be when I was examining students, I have quite a straight face. And normally I'm quite animated, but when I'm concentrating and it's serious, I'm quite, and these furrows come out here. Excuse me, coughing. See a great live when you can't do one without coughing. If it carries on, I just have to jump off. But I remember somebody thinking they'd failed, and I couldn't tell them they hadn't because I was serious. So be aware of doing that. You don't need to make assumptions what other people are thinking about you because you don't know, and it is none of your business. All right. If somebody's being mean to you, cut them out of your world. You don't need them around you. It's easy. If you've got thoughts about you not being good enough, ask yourself the question. I'm so going to have another drink. Who thought they couldn't do a live because something might go wrong? I've been live when I've had tripods fall off stands. Some of you may have watched that. Coughing fits. I've done them bald with no hair, having hot flushes. I tell you, if I can get myself out there, all of you can. And once again, we've lost where we were going with it. So having limiting beliefs, I think we all have them, but it's how you think. So if you're telling yourself you're not good enough, it's up to you to say, is it true? Is that true that I'm not as good as so-and-so? Number one, it doesn't matter if you're not as good as so-and-so. Forget them. They're out of the equation. They don't work for you. Number two, are you good enough to be doing what you're doing for your clients, for the people that are coming to see you? If you are, great. Stop telling yourself. You need to be your own best friend. And all throughout my cancer journey, and I talk about it in my book, and I'm going to write a book on this probably next year now, but Smile Your Way to Success. I always looked in the mirror every day, smiled at the mirror because I've got a really cheesy smile. I could see the inner me, and I tell myself I like myself. Sometimes I don't, but I used to tell myself in the mirror that I was stupid and I was an idiot. Don't do that. You are the only person that's going to be with you from the day you're born to the day you die. Absolutely, on my hand of heart, I can tell you that from the truth. You are the only person, unless you have a Siamese twin, in which case that may be slightly different. But you are the only person. You're the only person inside your head that matters. So you have some control. You have some control. And sometimes you just need to stop yourself. I'll say to myself, don't tell yourself you're stupid. That's mean. I wouldn't say it to a friend, so I'm not going to say it to myself. Try it. Do the smiling in the mirror every day and say, I just like you. You're okay. I mean, I've looked at myself for months in the mirror and thought, I hate my hair. I hate it when I was bald. I hated it when it first came back. I'm not so keen on it now. It's better now, but I just like my smile. I like my smile and I like me that's inside. That'll do. I'm kind, I'm friendly, I'm ethical. Right, that's all I need to do. So try it, okay? Because once you get to that point that you know you're okay and good enough, then you'll be able to do all these things. If you are feeling like an imposter, ask the question, is that true? Am I lying about or am I providing a product that isn't a good product? Okay, it's going to fall apart. Am I providing a service that really isn't all that? and I'm taking people's money and they're not getting what I promised them. If that's the case, then yes, imposter, give it to yourself, the title, and sort yourself out. But that's not going to be the case. The case is going to be you're saying I'm an imposter because you've just looked at somebody else online and judged yourself by them, and you're not. If you have the qualifications or the experience or whatever to do what you do, you can do it. If your product is good, if your customer service is great, go do it. Forget about everybody else. So if you're struggling for putting yourself out there, they are the things that you should do. I'll run through the list again. I'm just going to read it off I have a little bit of scrap paper here that I'm reading it off. Number 1, your online presence. Number 2, be in person. Make sure you get out networking, get people to know who you are. Connect with other local businesses and people that do what you do. Don't think of them as competitors. Okay, they're people doing what you do. There's enough people in this world for all of us. Structure your time to do your marketing, prep and plan, and most of all, you are the one that can overcome your limiting beliefs. You can do it. You just need to be nice to yourself. So if you've enjoyed it, give me some hearts, give me some thumbs up. I'd love to see that. I'd love it if you could share it for me, give it to other people. That'd be good. I'll be back again next Wednesday morning. I'm hoping to get back to the regular time of 11. So put the time in your diary. If you haven't watched me on TikTok yet, I'm on there most days. Speak to you soon. Have a great day. I'm going to say goodbye to Instagram first. Right, Facebook, my lovely peeps. Thanks for watching. Bye. Have a nice day at work, Daniela. And hopefully I'll speak to you all soon. And yeah, get ready. There's the book launch is out all over my feed at the moment. So if you want to come to that, if you're in Surrey, I'd love to meet people in person. And the HP box sales are coming up for that next week for the July delivery, which is coming soon. Can't wait. I keep getting deliveries every day for things to the box. It's the most exciting bit of my, one of the most exciting things in my business. I love all my business actually, but I really like getting new products. I'm just looking at my table. I haven't got any of the new ones on my table to show you, but there'll be some sneak previews soon. Right. Have a great day and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.